The wind screamed across the mountain like a wild animal. Snow fell so thick that Tae-sung could barely see his own hands. He locked the front door of his small lodge and rubbed his tired eyes. It had been a long day. The winter season always brought fewer guests, which meant less money. But it also meant more time with his daughter. And that was worth everything. "Papa!" Hana's voice cut through the howling storm. She sounded scared. Tae-sung ran up the wooden stairs, his heart racing. He found his 8-year-old daughter pressed against her bedroom window, her small hands flat against the cold glass. "What's wrong?" He put his hand on her shoulder. Hana pointed outside with a shaking finger. "There's someone out there. In the snow." Tae-sung looked where she pointed. At first, he saw nothing but white. The storm was too strong. Then, for just a moment, the wind shifted. He saw it too, a dark shape lying in the snow about 30 meters from the lodge. Not moving. "Stay here," he told Hana firmly. "Lock the door after I leave." "But Papa, the storm." "I know. I'll be careful." Tae-sung grabbed his heavy coat, gloves, and the emergency rope from the storage room. His wife, Bora, had always said he cared too much about strangers. Maybe she was right, but 3 years after losing her to sickness, he still couldn't ignore someone in trouble. It's what she would have wanted. The cold hit him like a hammer when he stepped outside. The wind tried to push him back. He tied one end of the rope to the porch rail and wrapped the other around his waist. In storms like this, people got lost 5 steps from their own door. He pushed forward, following the dark shape. The snow was deep, reaching past his knees. His legs burned with effort. Finally, he reached the figure. It was a child. A girl, maybe 12 years old, lay curled in the snow. She wore strange clothes, thin and smooth, like nothing Tae-sung had ever seen. Definitely not warm enough for winter. Her face was pale, almost white, and her hair had a silver shine to it even in the dark. Strange markings, like thin lines, showed faintly on her skin. They glowed with a very soft light. Tae-sung didn't waste time wondering. He'd been a rescue specialist before opening the lodge. He knew hypothermia when he saw it. The girl would die out here. He lifted her carefully. She was light. Too light. Her skin felt cold as ice. He followed the rope back, fighting the wind with every step. Hana had the door open before he reached it, her face full of worry. "Is she alive?" Hana whispered as Tae-sung carried the girl inside. "Yes, but barely." "Get all the blankets from the closet and fill the kettle with water." Hana ran to help. Tae-sung laid the girl on the couch near the fireplace. He checked her breathing, slow and shallow, but steady. He removed her wet clothes and wrapped her in dry blankets. Her skin felt wrong somehow. Not just cold, but different. Smoother than normal. And those marks on her arms and neck, they pulsed very slowly with golden light. This was no ordinary child. Hana returned with more blankets and her favorite stuffed rabbit. "Will she be okay? Will she be okay? I hope so." Tae-sung wrapped the girl tighter. "We need to warm her slowly. Too fast is dangerous." They worked together for the next hour. Tae-sung used everything he remembered from his rescue training. Hana stayed close, talking softly to the unconscious girl. She told her about the lodge, about their cat Bori, about school, as if her voice alone could pull the stranger back to life. Slowly, the girl's color improved. Her breathing grew stronger. But she didn't wake up. She muttered words that Tae-sung couldn't understand. The language sounded musical, with sounds Korean didn't have. Sometimes her eyes moved under her eyelids, and golden light flickered there like small flames. "Papa, her eyes are glowing," Hana said, not scared but amazed. "I see it." Tae-sung felt confused. What was this child? Where did she come from? He thought about calling the police, but something stopped him. Maybe it was the way the girl had looked so small and alone in the snow. Maybe it was the strange fear in his gut that told him this child was running from something. Something bad. "We'll wait until morning," he decided. "Let her rest." Hana nodded seriously. "Can I stay with her?" "For a little while, then bed." But midnight came, and Hana was asleep in the chair next to the couch, still holding the girl's hand. Tae-sung smiled sadly. His daughter had his wife's kind heart. He covered Hana with a blanket and kept watch by the fire. Around 2 in the morning, the girl's eyes opened suddenly. They glowed bright gold for a second, then faded to a more normal brown color. But even that brown had flecks of gold in it. She looked around in panic, trying to sit up. "Easy, easy," Tae-sung said softly in Korean. "You're safe." The girl stared at him. She clearly didn't understand. She touched her head, then looked at her hands as if surprised to see them. Then she saw Hana, sleeping in the chair. Her expression changed to something like wonder. She reached out and grabbed Tae-sung's hand. Her grip was strong, too strong for a sick child. She pulled him close and spoke. The words were foreign at first, but then switched to broken, heavily accented Korean. "They're hunting me," she whispered. Her voice shook with fear. "Please, don't let them find me. They'll kill everyone here if they find me. Please." "Who's hunting you?" Tae-sung asked. "Who are you?" But the effort was too much. The girl's eyes rolled back, and she collapsed into the blankets again, unconscious. Her breathing stayed steady, but she was deeply asleep now. Tae-sung sat back, his mind racing. Hunting. Killing. This child was in serious danger. And now, maybe so were they. He stood and walked to the window. The storm was ending. The snow had stopped falling. And that's when he saw them. Lights in the sky. Not stars. These moved in patterns, sweeping across the mountain in beams of blue and white. They looked like searchlights, but they came from above the clouds. Scanning, looking for something, looking for her. Tae-sung closed the curtains quickly. He checked all the windows, made sure every door was locked. Then he sat down between the couch and the door. Whatever was out there, whatever was hunting this child, they would have to go through him first. He looked at the sleeping girl and his daughter. 2 children. Both precious. Both needing protection. "I don't know who you are," he whispered to the strange girl. "But while you're under my roof, you're safe. I promise." Outside, the lights continued their search, getting closer to the lodge with each pass. The night was no longer peaceful. Something had changed. Something big, and Tae-sung had no idea that he'd just made a promise to the most important child in 7 worlds. 3 days passed. The strange girl got stronger each day, healing faster than any person Tae-sung had ever seen. On the first morning, she could barely sit up. By the second day, she walked around the lodge. By the third day, she was helping Hana set the table for breakfast. The girl said her name was something long and complicated. Hana couldn't say it right, so she shortened it to Nia. The strange girl smiled at this, the first time she'd smiled since arriving. She accepted the new name easily. "Nia," she repeated, testing it. "I like it. Simple, easy." Her Korean improved impossibly fast. At first, she could barely speak. Now, just 3 days later, she talked almost normally. She still had an accent, and sometimes used odd words, but she could hold full conversations. Tae-sung watched all of this carefully. He noticed many strange things. Nia's eyes changed color slightly based on her mood. More gold when she was scared, more brown when she felt calm. The marks on her skin glowed faintly when she was emotional. She could hear things he couldn't, like when Bori the cat was coming from 2 rooms away. She moved with unusual grace, never bumping into things, always perfectly balanced. And the cut on her hand from a kitchen knife healed completely overnight. No scar. Nothing. "You're not from around here, are you?" Tae-sung asked, one evening after Hana went to bed. Nia looked at him with those strange gold-flecked eyes. "No. I'm from very far away. Farther than you can imagine." "Another country? Another world?" Tae-sung should have laughed. He should have thought she was confused or making up stories. But after seeing those lights in the sky, after watching her heal so fast, he believed her. "Why are they hunting you?" he asked. Nia's face became sad. "Because of who I am." What I am. People with power want me. Bad people. They took me from my guards during an attack. I escaped. I ran. My ship crashed in your mountains. She looked down at her hands. I didn't mean to bring danger to you. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. We'll figure this out. Tae-sung meant it. He'd already decided to protect this strange child, no matter what. Nia looked at him with confusion. Why do you help me? You don't know me. You don't know if I'm important or valuable. You just help. Because you're a child who needed help, Tae-sung said simply. That's all I need to know. This answer seemed to confuse Nia even more. But she smiled a little, and the marks on her skin glowed warm and soft. The next morning, 3 people arrived at the lodge. They looked normal enough, 2 men and a woman, wearing official-looking clothes. They carried identification that said they were immigration officers. We're looking for an undocumented child, the woman said. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. A girl, about 12, foreign. Have you seen anyone like that? Tae-sung's rescue instincts kicked in. These people were predators. He could tell from the way they moved, the way they looked around too carefully. Their eyes were wrong, somehow. Too focused, too cold. No, he lied smoothly. Just me and my daughter here. Storms kept most guests away. Mind if we look around? One of the men asked. It wasn't really a question. Actually, yes, I do mind. You have no warrant. Please leave. The woman's smile disappeared. Sir, we have authority. Not on my property, you don't. Leave, now. The 3 strangers looked at each other. Something passed between them, some silent communication. Then the woman shrugged. Have it your way. Her face changed. It rippled like water. And suddenly she looked completely different. Her skin became gray and smooth. Her eyes turned solid black. The 2 men changed too, becoming tall creatures with too many joints in their arms. We're not asking anymore, human, the woman said. Her voice sounded mechanical now, filtered through a device. Give us the girl, and you live. Refuse, and you die. Simple choice. Upstairs, Tae-sung heard a small gasp. Nia had been listening. He needed to give her time to hide. She's not here, he said loudly. She ran away 2 days ago. Check the village if you want. Liar. The woman pulled out a device that glowed blue. She's here. I can sense her. Tae-sung moved fast. He grabbed the fire poker from the fireplace and swung it hard at the woman's device. It shattered, sparking. Then he kicked over the table between them and ran for the stairs. Get her, the woman screamed. The 2 male hunters moved faster than humans should. But Tae-sung knew his lodge better than anyone. He hit the light switch, plunging everything into darkness. Then he pulled the emergency cord his grandfather had installed decades ago. Steel shutters slammed down over all the windows. The lodge had been built during dangerous times, when his grandfather needed to hide people. The security features were old, but still worked. Hana, Nia, he shouted. Cellar, now. He heard their footsteps above him. Good. They were moving. He grabbed the emergency flares from the wall cabinet and lit 3 of them, throwing them at the hunters. The bright red light blinded them, made their sensors go crazy. Tae-sung ran upstairs as the hunters cursed and stumbled. He found the girls at the cellar entrance, a hidden door in the floor of the storage room. Get down there, he told Nia. Stay quiet. Don't come out no matter what you hear. They'll kill you, Nia said, scared. Maybe, but they definitely won't find you. Hana grabbed Nia's hand and pulled her down into the cellar. Tae-sung closed the door and covered it with boxes. Then he grabbed his grandfather's hunting rifle from the storage cabinet. It was old, but it worked. The hunters found him a minute later. They looked angry now. The woman's face was burned from the flare. That was stupid, human, she hissed. Probably, Tae-sung agreed. He raised the rifle. But I don't let monsters hurt children. Ever. He fired. The bullet hit one of the male hunters in the shoulder. The creature screamed a horrible electronic sound and fell back. Green liquid sprayed from the wound. The other hunter pulled out a weapon that looked like a twisted piece of metal. It hummed with power. Before he could fire, Tae-sung threw his knife. It hit the hunter's hand, and the weapon clattered away. "You're insane," the woman shouted. "She's not worth this. Every child is worth this," Tae-sung said. He fought them for what felt like hours but was probably only minutes. He used every trick he knew. He led them through the lodge, using narrow hallways and low doorways that made their tall bodies awkward. He used darkness and surprise. He triggered the emergency alarm, which made a piercing sound that hurt their sensitive hearing. Finally, bleeding and exhausted, he managed to drive them out. He'd injured 2 of them badly enough that they had to retreat. The woman screamed threats as they left. "We'll be back. With more hunters. You've just sentenced yourself to death, human." Tae-sung locked the door and collapsed against it. His arm was burned from one of their weapons. His ribs hurt. But he'd won. For now, he opened the cellar door. Hana and Nia climbed out, both crying. "Papa, you're hurt." Hana sobbed. "I'm okay, sweetie. Just scratches." Nia stared at him like he was something she couldn't understand. "You fought them. 3 trained hunters. You're just a human. You shouldn't have been able to." "Yeah, well, I got lucky." Tae-sung winced as he stood. "And angry. Very angry." Nia stepped forward. "I have to tell you the truth. All of it. You deserve to know." She took a deep breath. "My real name is Princess Nia, of the 7 kingdoms. I'm the heir to 7 different worlds. My family rules a huge part of the galaxy. When I disappeared, it started a war for power. Different groups want to capture me. Some want to control me. Some want to kill me. The bounty on my head could buy a planet." Tae-sung stared at her. A princess. Of 7 worlds. He'd saved an alien princess. He didn't know what to say. "I know. It's too much. I'll leave. I'll go far away. I won't bring more danger." "No." Tae-sung said it firmly. "You're not going anywhere. You're staying right here where I can protect you. But, no buts. You're a child. I don't care if you're a princess of 7 worlds or 70. Children need protection. End of discussion." Nia started crying then, real tears. "In my whole life, no one has ever. Everyone treats me like a thing, like property, not a person. But you." Tae-sung pulled her into a hug. Hana joined in, wrapping her small arms around both of them. "You're a person first," Tae-sung said quietly. "Princess second. Remember that." Outside, more lights appeared in the sky. More ships. More hunters coming. But inside the lodge, 3 people stood together. A family formed not by blood, but by choice and courage. The real battle was just beginning. Dawn came cold and gray. Tae-sung hadn't slept. He sat by the window with his rifle, watching the sky. More lights had appeared during the night. Different colors this time: blue, gold, silver. Ships from different groups, all looking for the same thing. Looking for Nia. Hana and Nia were asleep on the couch, curled together under blankets. They looked so peaceful. Tae-sung wished he could keep them safe forever. But he knew more trouble was coming. It arrived at sunrise. A ship landed in the clearing in front of the lodge. This one was different from the others. Bigger. Cleaner. It had symbols painted on its side that glowed with soft light. The door opened, and people stepped out. No, not people, aliens. But these ones looked almost human. They wore uniforms dark blue with silver trim, military style. They moved with discipline, forming a protective circle around their leader. The leader was tall, maybe 2 meters, with dark hair and sharp features. He looked stern but not cruel, more like a soldier who took his duty seriously. Tae-sung of Earth, the leader called out in perfect Korean. His voice was strong and clear. "I am Commander Hyun-woo, of the Royal Guard. I serve Princess Nia's family. I know she is inside. I ask you to bring her out safely." Tae-sung stepped onto the porch, rifle in hand. "How do I know you're not another bounty hunter?" "You don't." Hyunwoo admitted. But I give you my word as a soldier. I serve the 7 kingdoms. I serve her bloodline. I mean her no harm. A woman stepped forward from the group. She was shorter, with cold eyes and weapons strapped to her uniform. Commander, why are we negotiating with this human? We should just take the princess and leave. Because, Daun, he has earned respect, Hyunwoo said calmly. He protected our princess when we could not. He fought bounty hunters alone and won. That deserves honor, not force. Daun didn't look convinced, but she stepped back. Taesung studied them. His instincts said these people were different from the hunters yesterday. They stood like soldiers, not criminals. But he'd been wrong before. I need proof, he said. Prove you're who you say you are. Hyunwoo nodded. He pulled out a device and pressed it. A hologram appeared in the air, a symbol. Complex and beautiful. Made of 7 interlocking circles. Each circle glowed a different color. Inside the lodge, Taesung heard Nia gasp. She came to the window, Hana beside her. That's the royal seal, Nia said quietly. Only true royal guards carry it. Before Taesung could respond, Nia opened the door and walked out. She stood on the porch in borrowed clothes, Hana's 2 small pajamas with cartoon cats on them. She looked tiny and young, and completely unlike a princess. But when Hyunwoo saw her, he immediately dropped to one knee. All his soldiers did the same. Your Highness, Hyunwoo said, his voice thick with emotion. We've been searching for months. Thank the stars you're alive. Stand up, Nia said softly. Please. I'm tired of people kneeling. Hyunwoo stood but kept his head bowed. We must take you to safety. The 7 kingdoms are in chaos without you. We have ships waiting. No, everyone froze. Hyunwoo looked up, confused. Your Highness? Nia stepped closer to Taesung and took his hand. This human protected me when everyone else failed. He fought for me. Not because I'm a princess. Because I'm a child who needed help. He's shown me more care in a few days than I've seen in my whole life. She stood straight, looking suddenly very royal despite the cat pajamas. I'm not leaving without him and Hana. They're under my protection now. Daun made a sound of disbelief. Your Highness, with respect, they're just humans, barely space-capable. We can't. They're my family, Nia said firmly. That makes them important. Taesung felt his chest tighten. Family. She'd called them family. Hyunwoo looked at Taesung with new eyes. He seemed to see him differently now. You did this, he said slowly. You made her feel safe. Protected. Without knowing who she was. Without asking for payment or reward. She's a kid, Taesung said. That's all that mattered. Remarkable. Hyunwoo smiled for the first time. And tactical. Her enemies don't know which humans are protecting her. Your planet has 8 billion people. She could hide here better than anywhere in the galaxy. He looked at Daun. We stay. We help them protect the princess. Daun looked unhappy but nodded. As you command. Over the next days, everything changed. Hyunwoo's team set up defenses around the lodge. They installed invisible shields that would stop weapons. They put sensors in the woods that would detect anyone approaching. They gave Taesung technology he didn't understand, weapons that fired energy instead of bullets. Armor that was light as cloth but strong as steel. Daun trained him how to use everything. She was tough and demanding, clearly unhappy about teaching a primitive human. But as days passed, she started to respect him. You learn fast, she admitted one afternoon. And you think differently than we do. You don't follow standard tactics. It's effective. We don't have fancy technology, Taesung said. So we learned to be creative. Creative, Daun tested the word. Yes, that's what humans are. Creative and stubborn. Inside, Nia taught Hana about the galaxy. She showed her holograms of different worlds, planets made of crystal, oceans that floated in the sky, cities built on the backs of giant creatures. Hana's eyes got huge. Are all these places real? Hana asked. Very real. Someday, I'll take you to see them, Nia promised. Will I be a princess too? You'll be something better, my sister. The two girls laughed and hugged. Watching them, Tae-sung felt peace for the first time since Bo-ra died. His family was growing. Different than before, but still family. But peace didn't last. On the 5th day, Hyun-woo's face went pale while checking his equipment. Commander? Da-eun asked. What's wrong? Vel, Hyun-woo said the name like a curse. He's found us. He's coming. Who's Vel? Tae-sung asked. The worst of the worst, Da-eun said grimly. A warlord. He controls armies. He doesn't want to capture the princess. He wants to kill her and claim the thrones through ancient conquest rites. Hyun-woo pulled up a hologram showing space above Earth. Dozens of ships appeared on the screen, all marked in red. He's bringing his entire fleet. 50 warships. Thousands of soldiers. Can we fight them? Tae-sung asked. We're 10 soldiers, Da-eun said. Against thousands. No, we cannot fight them. We need to evacuate. Vel has orbital blockade, Hyun-woo interrupted. No ship can leave. We're trapped. Then we hold here, Tae-sung said. We defend the lodge until help arrives. Help is 3 days away. We'll never last that long. Then we make it hard for them. Very hard. Tae-sung looked at the mountain around them, at the forests and rocks and ravines. This is my land. I know every path, every cave, every danger. Technology is great, but geography is better. Hyun-woo studied him. You want to use the terrain against them. They're used to fighting in space, open battles. But down here, on the ground, in the mountains? Tae-sung smiled grimly. We make them fight on our terms. Da-eun actually looked impressed. The human has a point. Asymmetric warfare. Use their advantages against them. It's still impossible odds, Hyun-woo said. But there was hope in his voice now. But maybe we have a chance. They spent the next hours planning. Tae-sung showed them places to set traps. Narrow passes where big groups would have to bunch up. Cliffs where rocks could be triggered to fall. Old mining tunnels that could be collapsed. Nia watched all this, her face worried. This is because of me. People are going to die because of me. People were always going to fight over you. Tae-sung said gently. That's not your fault. What matters is what you do with that power someday. Use it to make things better. What if I'm not strong enough? You will be. Because you have us. Family makes you strong. That night, they saw Vel's ships landing. Far away, but getting closer. Dozens of them. Forming a ring around the mountain. Hyun-woo stood on the porch next to Tae-sung. You know we'll probably die tomorrow. Probably, Tae-sung agreed. But not definitely, and not without a fight. Why do this? You could have handed her over, saved yourself. Because she's my daughter now. Not by blood, but by choice. And I don't give up on my daughters. Hyun-woo was quiet for a moment. I'm glad she found you. In all the galaxy, with all its advanced civilizations, she found a simple human with the biggest heart. Not simple, Tae-sung corrected with a small smile. Creative and stubborn. Remember? Despite everything, Hyun-woo laughed. Yes, I'll remember. Tomorrow the battle would begin. But tonight, they were ready. United. A family defending their home. And sometimes, that was enough. The attack came at dawn. 50 mercenaries moved up the mountain in perfect formation. They carried weapons that hummed with deadly power. They wore armor that could stop bullets. They'd fought 100 battles on 100 worlds, but they'd never fought on Tae-sung's mountain. The first group hit the hidden trap at the narrow pass. Ropes pulled tight, and trees bent by Tae-sung fell across the path. Boulders rolled down from above. The mercenaries scattered, their tight formation breaking apart. Now, Tae-sung shouted. The royal guards opened fire from hidden positions. Energy weapons lit up the dawn. 3 mercenaries fell before the others could find cover. They're using primitive tactics, one mercenary leader shouted. Trees and rocks, how pathetic. But those primitive tactics worked. The mercenaries couldn't advance quickly. They had to check every step, every shadow. The mountain itself became their enemy. Taesung moved between positions, directing the guards. "Small groups," he called. "Hit them and run. Don't let them pin you down." Da-un led a squad that struck from the east. They fired, then retreated into tunnels too small for the tall mercenaries to follow. Hyunwoo's group used the high ground, shooting down at enemies who couldn't see them through the trees. For 2 hours, they held. The mercenaries grew frustrated. They were supposed to be elite soldiers, but they were getting beaten by 10 defenders and 1 human using rocks and ropes. Then Vel himself arrived. His ship was massive, black as night, covered in weapons. It landed behind his army, and the warlord stepped out. He was huge, 3 meters tall. Covered in scars and armor, his voice boomed across the mountain when he spoke. "Enough games. I want that princess dead. Find her, kill anyone protecting her, burn everything." The mercenaries renewed their attack with fury. They stopped being careful. They just pushed forward, accepting losses. Overwhelming the defenses with pure numbers, Taesung's group fell back to the lodge. They were down to 8 guards now. 2 had died in the fighting. Everyone was tired, hurt, running out of energy for their weapons. "We can't hold much longer," Hyunwoo said grimly. His arm was bleeding from a wound. "We just need to last until help arrives," Taesung said. "That's still a day away. Maybe more." Inside the lodge, Hana and Nia huddled in the reinforced basement. They could hear the explosions outside, the sound of weapons firing. Hana was trying to be brave, but tears ran down her face. "I'm scared," she whispered. "Me too," Nia admitted. "But your father is the bravest person I've ever met. If anyone can protect us, he can." Outside, the battle got worse. The mercenaries surrounded the lodge, firing from all sides. The shields held, but they were weakening. Soon they would fail. "We need to evacuate the girls," Da-un said. "Get them out through the back tunnels." "Vel has scouts everywhere," Hyunwoo replied. "They won't make it 10 meters. Taesung looked at the maps, trying to find a solution. There had to be a way. There was always a way. He'd saved people from worse situations before. Think. Then he heard Hana scream. A mercenary had found the basement entrance. He was trying to break through the reinforced door. Taesung ran faster than he ever had, but Da-un got there first. She fought the mercenary hand to hand. He was bigger and stronger, but she was faster. She drove him back, away from the door. But 3 more mercenaries came to help him. "Da-un, fall back," Hyunwoo shouted, but it was too late. 1 mercenary fired. The energy blast hit Da-un in the chest. She fell, gasping, blood spreading across her uniform. "No!" Taesung reached her, dragging her behind cover. The wound was bad, really bad. The blast had burned through her armor into her chest. "Leave me," Da-un coughed. "Protect the princess." "Shut up," Taesung said. He ripped open his medical kit, the one he'd carried since his rescue days. His hands moved on instinct, on memory. He packed the wound, used pressure bandages, gave her medicine for the pain. "You can't save me," Da-un said weakly. "Our bodies are different. Human medicine won't." I said, "Shut up. You're not dying. I won't allow it." He worked with steady hands even as explosions rocked the lodge around them. He used everything he knew, every trick he'd learned saving people on the mountain. He didn't think about the differences between human and alien. He just thought about saving a life. 20 minutes later, Da-un's breathing stabilized. The bleeding stopped. She looked at him with shock and gratitude. "You did it. You actually saved me." "Told you to shut up," Taesung said, but he smiled. Da-un grabbed his hand weakly. "You would have made a great warrior in any world, any civilization. I'm honored to fight beside you. Save the speeches. We're not done yet." But the situation was desperate. The shields finally failed. Mercenaries poured toward the lodge. Hyunwoo and his remaining guards formed a line at the door, firing until their weapons ran dry. Then they fought with swords, with their hands, with anything they could grab. Tae-sung joined them. His rifle was empty, so he used his knife. He fought like a man protecting his family. Which he was, but there were too many. Always too many. Vel himself approached the lodge. He pushed through his own soldiers, towering over everyone. He carried a massive weapon that glowed with deadly light. "Surrender the princess," he roared. "Last chance. Give her to me, and I'll let the rest of you live." Nia heard this from the basement. She looked at Hana, at her best friend, her sister. She couldn't let these people die for her. She couldn't. "I have to go to him," Nia said. "No!" Hana grabbed her. "Papa said to stay here." "They'll all die, Hana. Your father, everyone, because of me. But your family. We don't give up on family." Those words hit Nia hard. Family. The word she'd never really understood until now. Family didn't abandon each other. Family fought for each other. Family protected each other. Something changed inside Nia. She felt power surge through her blood. Power that had been sleeping all her life. The marks on her skin blazed with golden light. Her eyes turned pure gold, glowing bright enough to light the dark basement. "Hana," she said. Her voice strange now, layered with power. "Sing that song. The one your mother taught you." "What? Why? Please. Trust me. I need to focus. And your voice helps me feel safe." Hana was scared. But she sang. The lullaby her mother Bora used to sing. Soft and gentle and full of love. The power inside Nia responded to that love. It grew stronger but also more controlled. Not wild and dangerous. Focused and precise. Nia walked up the stairs. Tae-sung saw her and screamed, "No, get back!" But Nia stepped out of the lodge. She looked tiny compared to the massive mercenaries and their huge warlord. Just a small girl, in borrowed clothes. Vel laughed. "Finally, the princess shows herself. Now die." He fired his weapon. The blast should have killed her instantly. But Nia raised her hand, and the energy stopped in midair. It hung there. Frozen. Impossible. Then, it dissolved into light. The mercenaries froze in shock. Vel's expression changed from triumph to fear. "I am Princess Nia," she said. And her voice carried across the mountain. "Heir to the 7 kingdoms. Daughter of ancient bloodlines. Bearer of the royal power." She rose into the air, lifted by golden energy that flowed around her like living light. "You have threatened my family, my real family, the ones who chose me, protected me, loved me." Power exploded from her in a wave. Not destructive, but overwhelming. Every mercenary weapon died. Their ship's engines stopped. Vel himself was thrown backward, his armor cracking like glass. "Leave," Nia commanded. "Leave this world. Leave these people alone. If you ever threaten my family again, I will find you. And next time, I won't be merciful." The mercenaries ran. Even Vel, the great warlord, stumbled back to his ship and fled. Nia floated back down. The power faded, and she collapsed. Tae-sung caught her before she hit the ground. "I did it," she whispered. "I saved you. Like you saved me." "I know." She was no. "I know. You did perfect, sweetie. Perfect." But the power surge had been detected. All across the galaxy, it registered on sensors. Everyone now knew exactly where the lost princess was. And everyone was coming. By noon, the mountain was surrounded. Not by enemies this time. By representatives. Ships from all 7 worlds landed in every clear space. Diplomats and nobles and military leaders all came, all wanting the same thing. They wanted Nia. The Royal Guard reinforcements had finally arrived, 3 full battalions. They formed a protective ring around the lodge. Hyun-woo commanded them now, looking more like a general than a simple commander. Inside the lodge, Tae-sung watched the chaos through the window. There were hundreds of aliens out there now. All powerful, all important, all convinced they knew what was best for Nia. "This is insane," he muttered. This is politics, Hyunwoo said tiredly. He looked exhausted. Daeun was resting, healing from her wound. Each world wants the princess to rule from their planet. Each noble house wants her to favor them. It's a mess. A new ship arrived, smaller but official-looking. A man in an expensive suit stepped out, looking completely overwhelmed. He was Human Earth's ambassador, named Ki-jun. He looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. This is a diplomatic nightmare, Ki-jun said when he entered the lodge. He bowed nervously to Nia, then to Taesung. Your Highness. Sir, Earth's government asks that we cooperate with the galactic authorities. We're not prepared for this level of contact. We need to handle this carefully. What does that mean? Taesung asked, though he already knew. It means, perhaps it's best if Her Highness goes with her people. Returns to her proper place. We're just humans. We can't protect a princess of 7 worlds. We already did protect her, Taesung said coldly. We did what nobody else could. I understand. But, no, you don't understand. Taesung stood. You want to hand over a child to make your job easier. That's not happening. Ki-jun looked helpless. It's not my decision. It's what's best for Earth. For diplomatic relations. It's not what's best for Nia. That's what matters. Outside, the representatives demanded a meeting. The Seven Kingdom Council, the highest authority, wanted to speak with the princess immediately. Nia sat quietly on the couch, Hana holding her hand. She looked tired and sad. I have to go talk to them, she said softly. You don't have to do anything. Taesung said. Yes, I do. This is my responsibility. I'm the princess. I can't run forever. They held the meeting in a large tent set up outside. Representatives from all 7 worlds sat in a circle. Each wore elaborate clothes showing their rank. Each looked at Nia with different expressions, some hopeful, some calculating, some worried. The lead representative, a stern woman named Heiress from the First Kingdom, spoke first. Your Highness, your return is a blessing. The 7 kingdoms have been in chaos. We need you to come home, take your place, rule as you were meant to. The Second Kingdom offers you a palace, another representative added. The finest education, everything you could want. They went on like this. Each world made offers. Each promise was more elaborate than the last. Wealth, power, armies, planets. Everything except what Nia actually wanted. Finally, Taesung stood. Can I say something? The representatives looked at him like he was an insect. Human, this is not your concern. Heiress said dismissively. Actually it is. She's staying in my home. That makes it my concern. How dare? Let him speak, Nia said quietly. But her voice carried authority now. The princess was showing through. I want to hear what he has to say. Taesung stepped forward. You're all fighting over who controls Nia. Who gets her? Where she belongs. But nobody is asking what Nia wants. Nobody is treating her like a person, just a prize to be won. The tent went silent. The representatives looked confused, like he'd said something in a foreign language. Of course we care what she wants, Heiress said slowly. But she has duties. Responsibilities. She's the heir to 7 thrones. What she wants doesn't matter? Taesung interrupted. She's 12 years old. She's a child. Every child deserves a choice about their own life. Jizing life. Taesung interrupted. Jizing life. Taesung interrupted. Hyunwoo stepped forward beside Taesung. The human is right. We've been treating our princess like property. Like a thing to be moved around on a game board. But she's a person. She has feelings, dreams, rights. This is ridiculous, another representative said. She's royalty. She can't just do whatever she wants. Why not? Nia asked. Everyone turned to her. She stood, looking small but somehow powerful. Why can't I choose? My whole life. People made choices for me. What to wear. what to study, who to talk to, where to go. I never got to choose anything. Her voice got stronger. Then I crashed on this world. And a human found me. He didn't know I was a princess. He just knew I was a child who needed help. He gave me a choice. Stay or go. Trust or run. He treated me like a person for the first time in my life. The representatives shifted uncomfortably. I'll claim my birthright, Nia continued. I'll be the heir to the 7 thrones. But I'm not ruling yet. I'm 12. I'm a child. I need to learn how to be a person before I learn how to be a queen. What are you saying? Irie asked. I'm staying on Earth. With Taesung and Hana. They're my family now. Chaos erupted. Representatives shouted. Some were angry. Some were confused. Some actually looked thoughtful. You can't, Irie said. It's unprecedented. A royal heir living with primitives. Careful, Hyunwoo said coldly. Those primitives protected her when we failed. Show respect. I'll appoint regents, Nia said. 1 for each kingdom. You can govern until I'm ready. But I'm not leaving Earth. This is my choice. The arguing went on for hours. But Nia stood firm. Eventually, the representatives realized they couldn't force her. Not anymore. Not after she displayed her power. Not after the galaxy had seen what happened when people threatened her family. Slowly, reluctantly, they agreed. The 7 kingdoms would be governed by regents. Nia would return when she came of age. Until then, she would live on Earth. As the representatives left, many looked unhappy. But some looked impressed. Even proud. Later that night, Ki-jun spoke with Taesung privately. You realize what you've done? Earth is now important. The 7 kingdoms will establish embassies here. All because of you. I didn't do it for politics, Taesung said. I did it for a child who needed a home. Ki-jun smiled. I know. That's what makes it remarkable. 6 months passed. The lodge expanded, becoming a cultural center where humans and aliens met and learned from each other. Taesung officially adopted Nia, making her legally his daughter. Hana was thrilled to have a sister. Nia attended the local school. With clever disguises, she looked like any other student. She made friends. She learned to ride a bike. She complained about homework. She was just a normal girl, except for the invisible warships orbiting Earth, ready to defend her, and the Royal Guard soldiers disguised as tourists in the village, and the fact that her homework sometimes included lessons in governing 7 kingdoms. Da-eun stayed as her bodyguard. She'd come to love Earth's simplicity. She even learned to cook Korean food, though she wasn't very good at it. One winter evening, snow fell softly on the mountain. Nia and Hana played outside, building a snowman. Taesung watched from the porch, drinking tea. Hyunwoo appeared beside him. He visited often now, bringing reports from the 7 kingdoms. Political stability is improving. The regents are working together. Trade is flowing again, all because she had the courage to choose her own path. She learned that from you humans, Hyunwoo continued. We've been civilized for thousands of years. We have technology that can reshape planets. But we forgot something simple. We forgot that compassion matters more than power. That family is more important than politics. That sometimes, the greatest strength is just being kind. Taesung smiled. We're not that special. We just try to do what's right. That's exactly what makes you special. Inside, the kettle whistled. Nia and Hana ran in, covered in snow and laughing. They smelled like winter and joy. Papa, we need hot chocolate, Hana demanded. And marshmallows, Nia added. I'll make some for everyone, Da-eun called from the kitchen. A moment later. Taesung, how many marshmallows again? She's going to burn it, Hyunwoo said. Probably, Taesung agreed, laughing. He looked at his family, his daughter by birth, his daughter by choice, the alien warriors who'd become friends. This strange, wonderful family formed by accident and strengthened by love. Above them, invisible to human eyes, ships from 7 worlds maintained their watch. The most powerful fleet in the galaxy protected one small lodge, on one small mountain, on one small planet. Because inside was something more valuable than all the technology and power in the universe. Inside was a family. And family was everything. Years later, when Nia finally claimed her thrones, she would transform the Seven Kingdoms. She would bring human ideas, democracy, equality, children's rights. She would rule with wisdom and compassion, but she would always come home to the mountain, to the snow, to the lodge where a human had found a lost child and given her something no kingdom could provide. A father's love, a sister's friendship, a home, and that made all the difference.